All right, Raymond, what are we working on today?
Okay, today, finally adding more angle.
Did you need more angle? I remember the last time we worked on your car, we didn't commentate, but we showed that we installed the Megan inner tie rods back there. But was that not enough?
Definitely not
You
enough.
want to be throwing backwards entries
I'm
and
trying
stuff?
to go throw backies in that bitch like.
All right, so do you want to say what we got here?
Okay, so we got the little cheap GKTech angle kit.
Yeah.
Got it on Black Friday, no cap. Shit
Oh.
was like 150 bucks off.
That's
So
pretty
I was
good.
like, fuck it.
I mean, it's worth trying. You might die, but it'll be fine. If you guys haven't seen on this channel before, my car, which is right here, has snapped 2 GKTech Heim joints, which could have ended badly on my tie rods, but Raymond wanted to take the risk, so we're going to try it out.
Yeah, because you got like 500 horsepower, that's why.
It made stock. But okay, yeah, right now, as you guys can see, we have Raymond's car jacked, or no, we don't even have it jacked up. Right now, we have Raymond's car set on cinder blocks with toe plates, because the way we're going to be installing his angle kit is we're going to do one side at a time. So we could take a toe measurement, which we just did, and install the angle kit and then reset the toe exactly what it's at, so he didn't have to align the car afterwards. It's kind of a janky way of doing it, but we're broke and this is how we're going to do it. Cheapest way.
The aimless way.
So yeah, for you guys that don't know what toe plates are, it's literally just a plate that you put on, so focus, your wheel, and then you put it on the other side like this, and then you just run 2 measuring tapes, if you guys could slightly see the yellow right there, across. And what that does is it'll give you a measurement of your front, which in this case it was not going to focus. It's like 73. And in the back there's a measurement, and then you just take whatever that is, write it down, and then redo the same numbers again by adjusting your toe. But yeah, let's get to work.
I'm ready.
All right, so Raymond got the wheel off of the driver's side. This is the side we're going to be starting on, because we do want to keep going back and forth so we don't mess the alignment up like by doing both at once. So yeah, we had the wheel off. We had the wheel turned to the passenger side, so we have access to this outer tie rod nut that we had to take off to attach to the angle kit. And then we also have to take this nut off for the lower control arm, because that attaches to the angle kit. So it's really just 2 nuts, but it's not as easy as it could be because they are ball joints, and ball joints like to get stuck. But yeah, we'll see if there's any struggles with this. Should be pretty straightforward. You got any thoughts, Raymond?
I think we might struggle like always.
Yeah, I think we're gonna struggle, but
There's always something going on.
now we're just gonna go ahead and take the cotter pins off for the outer tie rod, the lower control arm, and then start removing stuff.
All right, let's start removing shit.
Alright, right now I'm just mocking up the GKTech kit. You guys can see it's not lined up on the outer tie rod point or the lower control arm ball joint point, because it doesn't fit, because it is hitting the brake shield right here. So we're going to cut that real quick and then see if it fits, and eventually we're just going to keep going back and forth with cutting the brake shield, and when it fits we can move on. Alright, so what me and Raymond just learned pretty fast is that to cut the dust shield, it is possible, but it's a lot harder than just removing the dust shield, so we're just going to remove it. To do that, Raymond has adapters for his wheels, so we had to remove those first, and then we could remove the caliper, the rotor, and then I think there's a bolt to remove the dust shield. I think that's going to be a lot easier than cutting it, because when I was looking at the back there is no room to fit anything to cut that safely, and I don't feel like risking my life. Alright, what Raymond is doing right now is he's unbolting the caliper bracket from the back of the knuckle, so he could take the caliper out of the way and then take the rotor off. As you guys can see, it's really tight because he's struggling. And yeah, we got the spacer off. It was kind of a weird situation because we did cut these studs so he could clear the back of his R33 wheels, but that's a story for another day. And yeah, we gotta take these bolts out. Okay, so now that we got the entire assembly here out, including the caliper bracket, the rotor, and the spacer, you can see there's a bolt up here, a bolt right here, and a bolt right here that when we take it out, the dust shield will come out, and that is way easier than cutting it, huh?
Yeah.
Good thing we didn't cut it. That would have been annoying. And it's off. That's where I was marking it, and I was like, that would be so stupid to cut. We're not doing that. There's like no room to get to that. But yeah, now let's mock up the angle kit and see how it fits. Alright, it's been some time later. We've been struggling because GKTech still strikes again and did not design a good product. So what happened was there's a nub right here on the control arm. You guys can't see it because I shaved it. We're going to show it on the other side. Where there's raw metal right here, there's a nub. And there's a little cutout right here that the nub's supposed to fit in, but what GKTech did is they accidentally machined it so the opening for it is at the bottom, but the nub is on the top and it's supposed to be flipped so it doesn't fit. So what we did originally to try to make it work is we cut right where we marked it in white on this part. If you flip the bracket over so I can show them. You guys can see how this hole is offset right here. So we ended up cutting on the bottom side where the nub is to try to make it work, but it didn't work. And then after that, we finally resorted to cutting the nub on the knuckle, and it ended up working. So if you guys are wondering why it's super ugly here, it's because we tried to not cut up the car, but we had to cut it up. But yeah, you guys can see now it fits, and we're gonna keep going. We're gonna show everything on the other side because we just kind of got in focus mode and trying to make it work. But for shaving the nub, what came in really clutch was the belt sander we bought to do Guillermo's core support on his Crash Ice 300.
After many tries, many attempts, we finally got that shit on. after cutting and experimenting all these new things, we finally got it to fit.
Yeah, we didn't really show what we did on this side. We're gonna show it on the other side. This side, we had no idea how to assemble it. We were just trying to figure out how to make it work. We figured out how to make it work. We're gonna show in detail on the other side, but now we're gonna wrap up this side, show how we're gonna get the alignment perfect, and then we'll get to the other side and show everything you have to do if you want to run this kit, because it is a good kit. It's just not developed completely.
Not really good instructions.
Yeah, no instructions at all.
No instructions at all, actually.
And then on their YouTube page, they show instructions for old angle kit that isn't even the same. So
completely different.
Yeah, we're gonna show you guys on the other side, but we're gonna wrap this up real quick. So we got this side buttoned up. The last thing we had to do is align it. Like I said, we are going to show everything that is an issue with this kit on the other side, but we just wanted to go ahead and move forward so we could show you in real time how to install that side. But yeah, we're just quickly aligning it. To do that, we're just using the toe plates on some cinder blocks. And before we took everything apart, we took measurements of what the inside and outside should be, and you can see here that, we'll focus, it is roughly 73 in the rear and 73 and like an eighth in the front. And if you were to go onto the car right now, what we are at, if my flashlight would turn on, is almost at 74 in the front and 72 in the rear. So we're a whole inch of toe out right now on one side of the car. So yeah, what we're gonna do right now is just keep jacking the car up back and forth, adjusting the tie rod so we could get it correct, and just keep putting it back down the center blocks, checking with the toe plates and moving along. The reason we did one side at a time is because if we did both sides at once and just set it back to the same measurement for both, we will have the correct total toe for the front axis. But if the steering wheel was, or we could have different amounts of measurements on each side, so the car might track straight but the steering wheel will be crooked. This way we're ensuring the steering wheel is straight. So now I'm under the car, we just have it jacked up sketchily. Now all I'm gonna do is adjust here on the inner sleeve by spinning it until we get the wheel looking straight, and then we're just gonna keep going back and forth by putting the car down, checking with the toe plates, verifying, and once we get it close enough, we'll call it and move on. All right, so you guys can see now we just did our first batch of adjustments. It's not towed out like crazy anymore, but it might be towed in. So now in the front we are at a little less than 73. It's like maybe an eighth of an inch less than 73 in the front, and 73 and I don't know, maybe a third in the back. And if you guys remember, it's supposed to have a little more than 73 in the front. about 73 in the rear, so it is now a little towed in. So now we're just going to do another adjustment and check again. Alright, so after doing this about 8 to 10 times, you guys could see here in the front, which we were right at 73 and 8, it was right at the 6th line before, and you guys could see it is, full focus, right at the 6th line. And then you can see on my phone over here before, if Raymond's hand can move, whatever, it was right at the 6th. And then at the rear, it was right at 73 before, and you guys could see here, it is, little clip, right at 73. So we were exactly at what we were before.
Hell yeah.
It took a while. It took a lot longer than we thought. But let's start on the other side and show why you shouldn't buy this kit, unless you're willing to put a lot of work into making it fit. Alright, so Raymond got this side torn apart to the point we were on the other side when we stopped updating because we started struggling. But this is a good point that we could show you guys everything you guys would have to deal with if you guys decide to run this kit. Personally, I don't think this is a terrible kit. Like, I think it's a good kit for the money. It just is a little bit different than what it's advertised as, which is a 30-minute kit on their website, which is not true at all. This nub right here is what causes a lot of problems. So this is what hits on, if you guys were to see, if I bring it to the light, where we marked right here, that's where it's hitting on the nub. And you guys could see how they attempted to machine it so it would avoid that by offsetting the hole on the lower side, but it's supposed to be on the upper side. I feel like that was a manufacturing mistake, but we'll move away from that. So what you guys have to do if you guys want to run this kit is shave this nub down. What we use to do that is a belt sander from Harbor Freight. It worked really good. I ate right through it. And then after that, everything pretty much bolts on pretty straightforwardly. The only other thing we struggled with was we took this thing apart and bolted just the bracket first, and learned really fast that if you do that, you cannot get the tie rod on, because if you were to look on this side, the light, sorry, we're doing this in the middle of the night. On this side right here, you can see there's a washer which you do not have access to flip the thing if you want to do it afterwards. So you need to basically take everything apart if you ever want to adjust this kit. Not that big of a deal. It's just you get what you pay for. I think this is still a really good kit if you want a cheap kit. It's just not how it's advertised. What do you think though?
My back hurts.
Your back hurts? At least we're almost done. We're going through this really fast on this side.
Yeah, this side, yeah, pretty much.
Alright, now we're just going to go ahead and... Another thing is, Raymond messed up. Put the threads back on this, break this nut loose, and then make sure you can spin this before taking this off.
Yeah, we took that.
And then pry the lower control arm down. You need to get the lower control arm down to the point the threads are flat, because if you don't, you cannot slip the actual bracket in, because the way it works is this part that clamps goes right here on the tie rod, and then this part that's flat slides where the lower control arm is, and you basically slide it in like this. And to do that, the threads on the lower control arm cannot be up, they have to be down, which, you know, it's just one of those things. It's pretty straightforward though. We're just gonna keep going now. Just like that. Thank you, Raymond, for recording. And now you guys could see that there you go. The nub is gone. We got it pretty flat. Now the bracket should fit. That's pretty much the hardest part about this. It's pretty straightforward though.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Also, before anyone asks, we did Loctite the bolt that they say to Loctite. So if this ever breaks, which is likely because it happened to me a few times, we have proof. We did this.
Cute. We're supposed to finish. Oh, that shit went in smooth like butter. Oh shit.
The other thing that we messed up on the other side, and we just did on this side too, is before you put the actual adapter angle thing onto the knuckle, you want to thread this outer tie rod into the inner, because you're not going to be able to do that easily after. So we got to take it all back apart. But yeah, other than that, everything's pretty straightforward. We're going to show you when everything's buttoned up, do the alignment, and then we could finally wrap this up. So we just finished toe plating the front. We're all done now. If you guys remember, in the beginning we were right at 73 inches exactly in the rear, and we are right at 73 inches exactly in the rear. Sorry, it's not in focus. It's the lighting. It is in the middle of the night. We were right at the 6 line in the front, which is where my fingertip is. We were right at the 6. So, perfect. You gonna test it out, or are we just gonna close the video?
We're gonna test it out.
Alright, well yeah, thank you guys for watching, and hope you guys found this useful, and see you next time. Bye.
See you on the next video.
Alright, so you just tried it out. What do you notice that's different? For better or for worse?
Like, it kicks out and then like you can actually catch it now. Like,
I noticed from the outside your car looked way more stable. Like, it used to look very like twitchy. Like, it looked, I don't know how to describe it. His car used to look very like on and off, and now it just looked like smooth.
Yeah, that shit.
It's weird
good,
how
like,
Knuckles would do that, huh?
Yeah, it feels good. It's just like the steering is a little like harder.
Oh yeah, you were saying the steering's heavier.
Yeah, it's heavier. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
But what do you think?
Overall, like, it feels good.
I mean, we just did some.
Yeah,
you just did some donuts, but
yeah. I still need to like.
I guess we'll give an update at the next event you drive. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys found this useful, and maybe these Knuckles aren't that bad. Just not how they're advertised.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, bye.
Bye.